Welcome to Man Therapy. Man Therapy. Man Therapy.
Welcome to Man Therapy, a new podcast with four longtime friends talking about life, current events, and everything in between. Full discretion, we are not real therapists, but we suspect most therapists only wish they were us. We're just four guys with different opinions that still manage to love each other no matter our differences. The act of sharing a burden, fostering laughter, and lending an ear to a brother is the basis and foundation of what we call Man Therapy. So throw another log on the fire, oil up your beard. If you have one, grab a beverage of choice and relax. We welcome you to the Man Therapy Podcast. Hey everybody, welcome into Man Therapy today. This is going on for our 8th episode. Can you believe it? 8 guys? How have we made it this far?
Let's go.
A lot of willpower and heavily sedation.
And so many listeners. We
Man, we are
making
breaking
so much money.
records.
Absolutely.
Records. Yep.
On YouTube, we got tens of views.
Woo!
Whew.
And that says a lot.
Yeah, Joe Rogan, move over.
Hey,
Hey, I would take a retweet from him anytime, or a share from
Hey,
old Joe.
I did try to get us on Call Her Daddy on the comments. Just say it.
Call her daddy.
Y'all don't know,
Can
if
you-
y'all don't know this, y'all don't know podcast.
I do. I know what you're talking about. I have listened to them.
I have not, and apparently I don't know podcast, so I guess leave that there. Is this like a sex therapy podcast?
Yes.
They're a
Okay.
little raunchy.
All right. Well, going on for episode number 8, and we'll, I guess, move right into segments. And Jeff, well, you know what they say.
Yeah, I know what they say. So, just with everything that's been going on, I had been sitting here thinking about, how we give weather people, meteorologists, whatever you want to call them, a hard time about, being right 50% of the time and still keeping their job or, so on. But when you're predicting weather, it has a tendency to change. It has a mind of its own. The meteorologists are there just to predict and say what they see on radar. But when it comes to media personalities, I feel like nowadays, where it's used to, they would have probably gotten rid of them. We give them a pass. And there's a few instances I have, like the New York Times, Mara Gay, where she was talking about Mike Bloomberg, where he had spent over $500 million on his presidential campaign, and she made somebody had made the comment, but anyway, she had stated it on a MSNBC 11th Hour with Brian Williams that if Bloomberg could have gave every American $1 million and still had money left over I'm sitting here thinking on a grade level math IQ, that's not right. And this is on a live on a network show. I think it rounded up to like the equivalent of $1.53 a person, if that were to happen. And then
With
also
like over 300 million people, and
yeah. So she
get
equivalent
550 people a minute, or 550 million?
he had 500. It's over 500 million
that he spent on the campaign.
That he spent on his campaign. And and now it wasn't her original thought. It was somebody had posted on Twitter, and she ended up bringing it to the show, the 11th Hour on MSNBC, and her and I guess was it Brian Williams had both agreed that that could happen, and we're supposed to take these people seriously, And then also there's another one with Chris Cuomo, where he says, "Please show me where it says protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful." These that's right there in the First Amendment. You got Don Lemon calling people idiots for wanting to do their own research. You got Joy Reid talking about Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema being up for midterm elections in 2022 when they're not up for elections until 2024. And these are the big names, just a few of the big names in media that we're supposed to take seriously, and that's just a few of the blunders that they've had. And I feel like it's because, and I don't know these people personally, so I'm not going to attack them personally, but I feel like it's because people let their feelings get in the way of their job. So they make it more personal than what it's supposed to be, which is reporting the news.
But are they really? But they're not actually the news. Like Tucker and Maddow, they're not really news.
They're opinionated.
They're
commentators.
Yeah. There was a judge, Cynthia Bashant, I believe. Maddow was getting sued by OWN, Oprah's thing, I believe, or one of them, and the judge said that people who watch those shows already know that they're not the news, so they couldn't be held accountable for some of the stuff that they say because it's not factual. So they were even saying a judge ruled that Tucker and all them and Maddow aren't actual at the news.
Right. Well, I mean that, and that's true, but being on a news network like CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, I feel like it's their duty and their obligation for what they got hired on to do is to give us facts about certain situations that are going on and not give us their opinions. I don't want their opinions. The opinions are like buttholes. Everybody's got one. Some people stink. Actually, everybody stinks. But you like your own brand, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
What the are we talking about?
I'm talking about
you know what? Al Roker versus Willard Scott. Who would win?
In a poop the pants contest?
No, fist fight, fisticuffs.
Al Roker.
Okay.
This is like the celebrity death match claymation
show.
I missed that show. I don't think anybody's even going to remember Willard Scott, but we'll see. Who you got, Ray?
I have the pay-per-view because the money that it would bring in.
Pay-per-view.
Well, you still got to pick somebody.
I think we all.
I got a gun to your head right now, and you're picking Willard Scott or Al Roker.
Willard Scott, $100.
All right, Pat.
I'm gonna go with Willard Scott too. But
I could split the decision and go with Jeff on this and say Al, but I just feel like Willard Scott.
I feel like
he's got a little bit more testosterone than Al Roker.
I just feel like Al would be scrappy, man.
You think so?
I feel like he would.
All right. Well,
and honestly, I just like the way he carries himself. He ain't gonna lie about it.
Okay.
And I guess going back to kind of the point Jeff was making is when you write one of these headlines or put out a story or do a segment on a news channel regarding whatever the topic it is, that even if you put it out and it's completely stupid, it's false, and it is just, it's wrong, whatever is wrong with it, the damage is already done. because the way our news works is they will grab something, whether it's true or not, and put it out there, put the headlines out there. People only read the headlines, browsing through. They don't go dig through a whole page of the articles. They don't read the whole thing.
It's clickbait. That's all it is.
Whether that's on socials or if it's just,
because there's been times where I've clicked on articles where the headline was completely different than what the article read.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And for instance, this past week, I don't know, was it 2 weeks? There's a NPR story came out about this mask of, I think it's Gorsuch, the Supreme Court justice. He was, I guess, elected or put in there by Trump, but anyways, nominated. But a story came out that one of the Supreme Court justices, I think one of the left-leaning ones, starts with an S. Is it
Sotomayor?
Sotomayor or something like that.
Sotomayor.
But anyways, she said that the story was stating that Gorsuch would not put on a mask, and so that Sotomayor, or the other Supreme Court justice, stayed and listening. I think it was she went remote rather than coming into the office because he was being so disrespectful. Well, both of the judges got together and put out a statement saying that this was just a bunch of bull. Like, this is not true. This is not the reason why. I don't know why they're saying this, and because it's absolutely not true. He's not being respectful and, just being not wearing a mask just to piss people off. But yet NPR was like, oh, we're standing by our story, even though the two people that the story was about came out and said this was not true. And yet it blows my mind.
I actually heard that too, the same exact way that you just heard it. And that's a problem with a lot of that. There again, that's there is the facts over the feelings part.
I think the internet and social media has made them be a little more reckless because now they just want to be first. Because in social media, if you're not one of the first, sites to put something out, it kind of gets overshadowed and overlooked. So they just hit a headline, get something that people will click on, and just put it out quick.
Absolutely. And
I mean, and none of the articles I put in there where you need to really hold people accountable. I mean, they should be called out on their junk. But a lot of the times when you're a lot of these news outlets when they're putting people on blast and slandering certain people, they need to be held accountable. Just as who was the kid that sued CNN and
Sandman.
Yeah,
Nick
Sandman, just as he did, And,
oh man, that was a really odd situation right there.
They really portrayed him because he had a MAGA hat on, and they ran with it and really slandered him. And it turned out the truth was that he wasn't the one causing any of the problem.
Right.
He made some money though.
Yeah, he sure did.
Oh yeah. And I don't even know that all the lawsuits are settled yet.
Probably not.
But what I guess what I'm saying is a point is, like, if they make a mistake in these articles and they don't necessarily just put out a new article saying, hey, we're sorry. They don't put out a new headline. They go to within the article and retract it and air quotes correct it, but the damage is already done because
without changing the headline.
Mm-hmm. And there's rarely times where you get, other than it might the opposing party or the opposing news network, because we have basically in America right now we have left-leaning news, right-leaning news, and they attack each other all the time.
And there is nothing in between for, I mean, like, I think
like watching BBC.
Oh, BBC is good, yeah.
But that's in the UK, so that's not American, technically American news.
It's more accurate than ours. for us.
And I think that's why
I'll agree with Ray on that.
And I really honestly think that's why Joe Rogan is so popular, is because he allows different viewpoints on his show, and it's right leaning, left leaning, and the dude pales the amount of view. I think he's like, a normal episode gets 11 million views for him, and like CNN, he's like exponentially bigger than any of these cable news networks are now, and he's a dang podcast. And it's more of, there needs to be more like his podcast, because there is no venue where you actually would say, well, here's a politician that is wanting to pass a bill on the left, and here's another politician that opposes this bill. All we get is they go on their own self-identifying, like either Fox News or CNN. They go on their own already left or right-leaning news agencies, and they get on there and have an echo chamber, and there's no middle ground. I'm like, why isn't there something where that is totally bipartisan, where I get there's like C-SPAN, but who goes and watches all that crap?
Then you have politicians, that play off of that too.
There's got to be like, oh, you're trying to sell a bill, you think this bill is the worst thing ever, so why don't we put them together in an even playing field and let them on live TV tell you why they believe in this bill, or why it's the worst thing ever, and there's no transparency.
Or that's what I was about to say. Or get them on live television, let them read the bill out.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. This whole thing, bills are like thousands of pages long, and I'm like, do they have to be?
Well, they've got so many things hidden, because to get someone on board, you got to do something for someone else, and so there's so many little things attached to it. They don't want everyone to know what's all in a bill, because both sides put stuff they don't need.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got the what do you call those people? The ones who get the money for the candidates and
their campaign constituents.
No, give me a second, guys.
Staffers.
This would be a perfect time to have a brain fart, man. It's
it happens.
Y'all just come back to me later. I'm
you sit the next few plays out, buddy.
I've got COVID brain. I'm just recovering from COVID. So
I will say that I do like the way Real Clear Politics kind of sets up some of their news articles, because I've noticed from I guess following the election last year, or in 2020, that they post a lot of their articles, but they'll alternate. It'll be like, there's a conservative source, and then there's a liberal source, conservative, liberal, and they'll post all of these articles from all of these politically leaning news agencies onto their page, and they, I guess, kind of give a picture of what both sides think. So that's kind of a good website to go to, sort of.
But have you ever actually looked at the numbers for like the super PACs and stuff like that? The money they raise to actually how much money goes into like a presidential run? There's a lot of money that's just not accounted for. Like the money's just, it wasn't for road trips and gas for your buses.
Like if people are pushing back against transparency, then that is the reason in itself to be like, okay, we need to keep digging, because transparency is the key to all of this. It's the key to.
But all they have to do is go to a book signing or a talk at a school or college or a business, and then all that money can just be swept in different avenues.
Yeah, money laundering.
Yeah, it's
man.
hard to...
I'll tell you, I didn't know much about John McCain when he was in office. I mean, but that guy actually has had a hell of a lot of integrity. I mean, he was standing up before, everyone, and, basically saying that they needed to put an end to, some of that money and transparency, being, out there for everybody to see. I mean, because, Mitch McConnell, who's horrible about it, has taken one stand on the subject, and then all of a sudden, there's some money kind of funneled in, to him, and then he's changed his stance.
Yeah,
I'm not saying,
time.
people, and I'm not saying people, senators or, representatives or presidents, anybody can't,
Change their
of,
mind.
change their mind because of
your...
different information, being given to them.
Oh, I mean, Obama
know.
changed his mind on gay marriage. He went in, marriage being between a man and a woman, and then changed his
campaigned on that.
Yeah.
And, which honestly, man, I mean, who cares? I mean, like,
but I'm just saying, that was just an instance on people changing their mind. It is what it is.
Right. But I mean, like, John McCain, like, was kind of shot down about it, and of course, because none of them wanted to lose that money that was being funneled in from big businesses and stuff like.
But Mike, are you
wait lobbyists?
There you go, buddy.
Yeah. That is a big problem in our government, and I personally don't believe that any company should be able to lobby at all. Period.
Nope.
But anyways,
nope.
Moving on, Mike. It is up to you for segment number. Well, this is still segment 1, but for your segment in this.
Well, big news in, I guess, the music scene this week was a longtime band, Every Time I Die, broke up officially, and really saddened and disheartened. I got to see them twice this year, once at Furnace Fest, and the last show that I went to that I got to see them was in Columbus at the King of Clubs, and incredible show. I mean, you wouldn't even thought anything would have been wrong at all. I mean, and I've met a couple of the guys. I've met the guitarist Jordan twice. I met him at Furnace Fest, and met him at King of Clubs. Really nice guy. Met Andy, and Andy also, he wrestles on AEW. Then Andy was, I mean, he's the Butcher. I mean, he's a good dude. I mean, he's a big mofo too, man. I guess there's been a lot of issues between the rest of the band and the lead singer, which is the lead singer, Keith Buckley, is, brother to Jordan Buckley. So I mean, you have the family squabble there, and man, I don't know. It's a mess. I mean, a lot of it played out online. There's no really telling, really kind of what exactly all happened. But
is it looking like the lead singer was just being a little bit of a diva?
You don't know, because I mean, in a sense, it does seem like that, because they were saying that he would not show up to until it was like 5 to 10 minutes before the set, and he actually had released a statement online. So what happened, back in December, was he just threw it out on social media that, and this was like, I think 2 or 3 shows before the end of their tour, he was dropping off of the tour himself, and that he was going to have to take some time off. And to work on his mental health, and that he had overheard Jordan talking to somebody else, saying that they were looking for somebody to replace him. And of course, Jordan has also disputed this and saying that he doesn't know what Keith actually heard, but like that was never ever a discussion. And that they had even talked on about it before, and saying that that would never ever be a he would never ever be talked about being replaced. Like, and so I mean, like, the band actually issued a statement this week saying that Every Time I Die is done, and that there was never a plan to replace Keith, because Every Time I Die is nothing without Keith. So I don't know, man. I mean, it's messed up. I mean, I think all the guys do plan on moving forward with maybe something new and everything like that. They've tried to talk to Keith, and he has not responded back to them, won't sit down in the same room with them. I guess apparently they had all tried doing like some therapy and stuff together before they played Furnace Fest, actually. So it was
I know a lot of people
know.
like laugh at that kind of stuff, but like it might as well be a marriage between people who are doing stuff like that. There's so much money
Right.
and egos. Like it's like a marriage, but with more than two people. So things can go wrong pretty easily.
Well,
Right.
not only that, you're together all the time, especially
Yeah.
on tours and stuff, so you're probably together, honestly, unless your family travels with you, you're with those people more than you are with your own family.
And I guess, I mean, like, so Keith is also like, he had struggled with addiction and everything heavily, and he's gotten sober. And I mean, so like his whole thing was he tried to, in his statement, say that trying to stay strong and not putting himself in certain situations. But the band's also disputing, saying that there was no crazy drinking on the tour. And I guess Jordan has said that he doesn't drink on the tour. Goose didn't drink on the tour. Andy doesn't. And, or I mean, I guess Jordan does, maybe a couple beers and that's it.
Yeah, and it sounds like they even had proposed Keith traveling separately to them
like
to kind of keep it going. From what I've read, that these guys they made a real attempt to try to reconcile, or I don't know if reconcile is the right word, but to accommodate, even with disagreements, that they still could go on and play.
Oh yeah. I mean, and they were gonna say, all right, so Keith doesn't want to do these last 3 shows, and so we'll just have the fans come up and sing their favorite songs, just so the fans don't lose their money on the tickets. And I guess Keith took it as a personal attack, is what I'm reading too. So I don't know.
It's sad when stuff like that happens, but I mean, hopefully, once if it does end, they can get back to being friends again. Sometimes when you're just in your feelings, you just got to take a break.
Yeah, yeah. I actually had I'd sent a Instagram comment to Jordan, and I'd said, I mean, hopefully, all of y'all are, I mean, more than anything, able to find some peace, after, through this. I mean, and his reply back, he actually replied, he said, "We are now." And I'm like,
that's good.
Well, that means, without Keith.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, I thought, no throwing shade towards this, but when Mike was talking about, devastating rock news or music news, I thought he was going to go with the Meatloaf
R.I.P.
I don't know what you're talking about. What happened with
R.I.P.
Meatloaf?
R.I.P. to the meatloaf, baby.
He
Oh.
died. I would do anything for love,
But I won't do that.
I won't do that. I went
Oh, my
back and
God.
was listening to Apple Music had a like a essentials Meatloaf.
R.I.P. to the loaf, baby.
I was listening to
2022
I'm
is.
sorry, but what other essentials does he have?
Other than that one, I don't know.
Have you? What's
There's
that?
like a Paradise song that was
Hell something. I have to think of it. 2022 is not starting out good as far as taking people. Bob Saget.
mm-hmm. Yeah, the top songs.
Bad Out of Hell.
Yeah,
Is This Love? Banger. Certified banger.
Paradise by the Dashboard.
Good one.
2 out of 3.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
And then I would do Anything for Love, probably his most iconic song. But anyways, that's sad news.
Yeah,
it is.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
Yeah.
R.I.P. ETID and R.I.P. Meatloaf.
don't let you meatloaf, baby.
All right. Well, have you got anything else on your segment, Mike?
No, I think that's it.
All right, I guess it's to me then on moving on to my segment. So since I just kind of found a kind of a feel good article this time, I actually got 2, so we can probably not spend too much of time on them. But so the first article is I believe this is a team in New Hampshire that it was like as the tide rose, it began looking perilous for Millie the Jack Russell. So this is about a dog. And so rescue crews had to think of a way to try to rescue this dog because she was going to drown. And there were, I guess it was really muddy and she was having a really hard time as the water was rising. And so police, firefighters, and Coast Guards, the rescuers had to think imaginatively and came up with the idea of attaching a sausage to a drone and hoping the scent would treat. So they tie a string and put a sausage on the end of it and tie it to a drone and fly it out to this swampy area and to tempt Millie to safety. So there's actually a video from the drone itself of the that sausage just swinging like a pendulum on the on the hanging from this. So you would see the drone fly, and it would the sausage would just go swinging, and they would have to slow down to kind of get the sausage to be still. So it was quite a process, but they were able to attach the sausage to a drone and dangle it in front of Millie, the Jack Russell, and lead her to safety. And I thought that was.
I heard if you do the same thing to Jeff, you could lead him to safety.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No, that leads me to danger. You won't have it. Your drone would be no more.
Would you jerk that sausage free and bust that drone up?
That escalated quickly.
Hello. Wait, first off, did the sausage have the casing on it, or was it removed?
I could give you an email and you can get in touch with the reporter. I do not know.
Oh, okay.
But it was attached to a string, and
I like my sausage clean.
Well, you know,
I think a local resident on the beach was there, and they were. I think they had
some people like their sausage with casing, bud.
Yeah. No.
Have y'all ever tried the sausage casing? Like ugh. If you've ever,
I haven't.
How
I
are
can't,
you
man.
not going to eat sausage without its casing?
Well, don't most sausages
You-
have a casing on it?
Yeah.
That's what gives it that, right?
You can
my
peel it.
sausage has a casing.
I peel the casing off the sausage.
I'm gonna mute you,
What
Mike.
psychopath
You peel it.
takes
I'm gonna
the
mute
lining
Mike right
off
now.
the sausage?
You peel the casing down, Jeff?
No,
kind of-
I split it, and then I peel it around.
Ooh.
What a weirdo.
You don't just treat it like a lighter, just pop that casing right off.
No.
Okay, the lid. Okay.
You're popping each other's.
That reminds me of another episode of the League. I don't know if Mike saw this one or not, but
go ahead.
The lamb skin,
Yeah,
at Tacos, EBDB B&B. And he replaces the sausage casings with the lamb skin. And they all bite into it. Yeah. Ugh. That's so disgusting. Oh my gosh. That show is so bad, but it's so funny.
I like that show.
Well, I'm glad the
we need to find a Ralphie. Or Rafi.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
I don't need someone waiting in my trash can with knives trying to scare me.
is he the bald-headed dude?
No. He's
curly-headed psychopath.
Okay.
Yeah, he's played in several other. He played in was it Dirty Grandpa,
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah. What else? What's the movie with? I think it's Will Ferrell and some other lady that they run that underground casino.
Jennifer Aniston.
I don't remember. I'm pretty sure he was in that. Anyway, the dude is just hilarious on his own merit.
Mm-hmm.
But in that show, he's phenomenal.
He really does play that perfect character for that.
He really does.
All right. Well,
all right,
Pat, what's yours? But what's your other one, bud?
Yeah, and I guess the next one is there. I was going through social media, and there was this article. Rather, it was a series of tweets that were shared, and apparently, in believe. But anyways, so this lady, she apparently, while her car was sinking in an icy river. I believe this was in Canada, in Ontario, a town in Ontario. While this, no comments, Jeff. While her car was sinking, she apparently was trying to drive across a icy river and to take a shortcut from what some of the they had reporting. And so, well, her car fell through, went into the river.
Oh my God.
And people captured. She proceeded to get out of the car. She gets on top of her car, and she was captured taking a selfie. Had time to take a selfie while people were trying to rescue her. She's standing on top of her car, and there's a picture. There's a picture I found on social media. It's a yellow car. She's standing there. She's doing the selfie pose with her cell phone and taking a picture of herself while her car is going down. And I believe they had to get somebody in a kayak to get out there and help her get out of her situation. But
like, oh my God, my car is sinking.
I need to document
duck face.
But apparently she was, according to reports, she was purposefully driving across this frozen river for a shortcut.
Yeah, but like some of those places in Canada, like it's thick enough to drive across.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of ice fishing. And anyways, how do you catch a polar bear? Well,
oh no,
you don't know. Okay, well, you cut a hole in the ice, and then you take a can of green peas, and then you just drain them, and then you put the peas around the hole. And then so when the polar bear goes up to take a pee, you kick him in the ice hole.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, I'm glad the lady's safe, but she's a complete moron.
I mean, what else you gonna do? You gotta do it for the gram, you know.
I mean, yeah.
I'm gonna let y'all take this one. I'm just gonna sit here and listen.
You don't have any comments on Canada, Jeff?
Oh, I have several.
Okay.
For insurance purposes, maybe she was just taking a picture.
Possibly, but she was rescued with a kayak pretty quickly, according to some of the reports. But it just it's just a mentality of, hey, you know, the world's going to crap, but I'm sure going to document it.
If she was saved by a kayak, then that river was not indeed frozen over to drive across.
Absolutely. And
I would have took the approach, you got yourself in there, you can get yourself out.
If you've got time to stop and take a selfie, then
this is why Jeff doesn't work on, you know, any sort of emergency cruise, because he would just judge it on
they did what? Oh, they should die.
Oh, wrap your car around a light pole, huh? Going 100. Does that sound like a good idea? Oh, you can't breathe?
Why do we let Canada be a country?
Oh, Canada.
Anyways, that is the all that I have. I just found these two articles, and we've got crazy people while their cars are sinking. They have the time to take a selfie of themselves standing on top of their car. Something to show the kids, I guess.
Oh my God, I want to post this on my Snapchat story.
Oh, my car is thinking. Oh my goodness.
What else are you going to fill your Snapchat up with, Mike?
Absolutely nothing.
All right, so the next segment goes to me. This last summer, I was out in my yard, and there was a dead branch. And so I was like, you know what? I've been a pretty athletic person in my past. I'm just going to jump up, and I'm going to snag this dead branch. I jumped maybe 4 inches off the ground, and when I came down, I rolled my ankle. So that made me think of, what is the dumbest way you have been injured? Let's start off with Mike.
Mike, I already put yours in the document, so you can put it.
How did I already know where we were going? Man. Okay, so
because that was the dumbest way I've ever seen anybody get hurt.
But it was pretty epic.
It was epic.
Right. It was.
Oh, man. Okay.
And they didn't charge us extra, which is
and the great thing about this is all of us were there.
Yes.
That's true.
All right. Well, I guess to start this off, I twisted both of my ankles really bad in high school. So, like, you know, playing football. So, I mean, I've always had issues with my ankles. You know, I have to, I mean, at work, I mean, it makes sense anyways to wear, you know, boots that really support those ankles and everything like that, because otherwise I'm just gonna snap my up. So right. So the story that the guys are all referring to, it really is the dumbest way that I've ever been hurt. One night at this Irish pub in Huntsville called Finnegan's that we also used to go to, and
R.I.P. Finnegan's. R.I.P.
Yeah, man. R.I.P. Man, that was an amazing place, especially when the blind piano player lady would come.
Play Mr. Piano Man.
Yeah.
It was one of the only places that Ray has said "Roll Tide" that I recall.
There's a backstory I would like to give a defense later on. But go ahead.
He just says it because he loves Alabama.
Nope.
So, anyways, after probably a couple rounds of Irish car bombs and, you know,
can we say that?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Just not in Ireland.
Yeah, no.
I mean, the drink. So, anyways, a couple rounds of that and probably a few beers and probably even a few pregame beers. I don't even remember if we went to where we went for that. if we went to
it's probably Baumhauer's.
Yeah, where they used
I
to
don't
have
even know, man.
Where they used to have the big towers
the cylinders of beer.
Oh yeah,
the blender.
The blender, yeah. So, anyways, I was pretty well lit and feeling good, and they were playing, all the white people anthems, Journey's "Don't Stop Believing," and they had these booths where your whole party could get into, and you'd be separated off from, the other booths,
the VIP.
And, yeah, and and they had, it was all wood too, so it had a really cool pub feel to it. Well, after standing on top of the cushion booth seats and singing "Don't Stop Believing" at the top of my lungs, as well as everybody else in our party and everybody else in the bar, and I decided I would meet the people on the other side. And so I'm shaking hands, giving high fives over there and everything like that. And I'm holding, they had little wooden
banisters,
rods, banister, doils, whatever you want to call them, up around the top. And I'm hanging on to one with one hand and coming back down. And one of those just breaks. It just, and so I fell on top of, my ankle, my one ankle just rolls. Just rolls as bad as it ever has in my entire life.
What a traitor. Traitorous ankle.
That traitorous ankle, man. It's probably the one I've had the most trouble out of. And honestly, it'll hurt. I probably that night I tore something in there and never did get it fixed. But I came down hard, fell onto the table, knocked off glasses and broke them, and we all had a good laugh.
Yeah.
I was pretty numbed up, so I didn't quite feel the pain, but I knew I rolled it so bad. I felt the pop. It was absolute. Just knowing right then, like, yeah, my was just snapped up bad. So, yeah, we got home. I limped it out the rest of the night, like, kind of. It wasn't really hurting, but no, it was weak as hell. And I knew it was going to be bad in the morning. Oh my God, the swelling on that. It was also like a high ankle sprain too, along with it. So like it kind of, the bruising and everything that came with it, like went way on my, side of my leg there. It was bad. It was very bad.
Great times.
Finnegan's had a lot of memories, and some of them we cannot share in any social medias ever.
No.
Right.
Yep. Right.
All right. So then now we got Jeff.
All right. So I've got kind of a two-parter. One of them I was about probably 11 or 12, and the other one I was probably about 13 or 14. So the first one, we were getting ready to go somewhere, and a few of my buddies were in the pasture behind my house, and they were going fishing, and mom and dad were still in the house, and they was like, go get in the car. And I told them who was over there. They was like, well, you can see them later, don't go over there right now, go get in the car. And I said, okay. Well, me sitting out there for a few minutes and they're not out there, I'm like, well, I'll just go over here and see my friends real quick, and then when they get out here, I'll hop back over the fence and we'll be on our way. I climb up the fence, get ready to hop over. As soon as I get ready to hop from the top, the fence snaps. The barbed wire sticks in my leg.
Ooh.
Drags all the way up my leg.
Ooh.
On the inside, and I was like, okay. I was like, this didn't just happen. So I looked down and I got like my legs covered in blood. So I'm like, well, I was like, this is not good. So I go back over the fence. And I don't know if it was adrenaline or what, but like I really didn't feel it at that moment in time. I felt the tongue lashing that I got later on for not listening to my parents. This wouldn't happen if you would have listened to us and not gone over there like I said. Da, da, da. Anyway, thank the good Lord watched over me because thankfully I didn't have to get stitches. I did. I'm pretty sure I got a tetanus shot though. But I still have the scar that reminds me of that every day. My second one, I was 13 or 14. I had went to the beach with, as obviously my parents and my sister, and then we had met some friends down there. It had rained one night, and the water was dripping down the stairwell. Well, my buddies that were there, they're like, "We're gonna go up the elevator," and I was like, "Okay, well, I'll race y'all up," thinking I'll beat them up. Up the stairs and trying to show off. They were older, of course, but that's neither here nor there in the story. I take off, I open the door to go up the stairwell, and little did I know at the time there was a pool of water that had accumulated from the rain that had been going on. And for those of you who've been to these condos and stuff with the outside steps that they got the spray on paint or whatever that gets real slick when it gets wet. That's what happened here. I hit that water. Both my big toes go into that bottom step and snap.
Jeez.
So that's bad enough, but here's where it gets even worse. I don't let that slow me down because I'm still bound and determined to beat them up the steps before the elevator. So
I'm glad to see.
Not let you.
You got to push through.
I'm hobbling up these steps, man. Trying to get up there before they do, and needless to say, I did not. But I did give effort, and I did go to the doctor about my broke toes when I got back when we got back home, because we were still there. Now, mind you, we were still there. We were still going to be there for about, I want to say 2 or 3 more days. When this happened, there's nothing they can do for broke toes anyway.
Right.
But I did go to the doctor. I did get them x-rayed, and they were both broken. So, but yeah, two broke toes at the same time is probably one of the worst experiences you'll have as far as getting injured like that.
I bet.
But yes, those are my dumbest ways of getting injured.
Hitting that pinky toe on a corner, going around a corner on some furniture or something like that, man, that'll make you.
Should have bought a Honda.
Yeah.
Or just stepping on your kids' toys in general, man. I've stepped on so many of my kids' toys.
Those stinking jets, metal cast jets with the. Man, that hurts. You want to throw them in the yard. The toy, not the kid.
Oh,
well, debatable.
Either way, what's up for debate?
All right, Pat, you're up.
All right, so I'm gonna go quickly in succession here. So first of all, there's more than one type of injury. There is a pride injury to your pride, injury to your emotional self. Believe this was in junior high, and I was eating down at the Western Sizzling, and anyways, so went down there to that Sizzler. But so I was eating at the Western Sizzler. Oh my gosh! Anyways, there was a table full of girls from my high school that were all there. I think they were with their parents, but there was a bunch of them. And they were there, and so I'm automatically like, you change your step. You're walking different. You got your making sure
You
your
were
hair's peacocking, putting those.
That chest was out.
Yeah, those. You got your pimp walk. You're trying to. Anyways, you're trying to look good, and so I get up. And on the way, I have to go to the bathroom. So I'm passing this table and, I'm like joking with them, hey, what are y'all doing? All that fun stuff, flirting. And so I keep walking and then I go into the bathroom. And the way the bathroom, there's like 2 doors there at the old Sizzler. And so you go through first door and then there's another door into the bathroom. So I get in there.
I pray this story's going the way I think it is.
I get in there and I'm looking around and I'm like, where are the urinals?
Yes.
And I'm like, oh my God, I just walked in the women's bathroom. And as a young teenager, mortified. And the door was right by all of the girls at this table. And so I had to walk back out of the door and all the girls were just cackling and laughing and doing, laughing like that. And I am mortified. And that was an emotional injury.
This isn't where I park my car.
Yeah, it was. So I had to walk out and out of the women's bathroom in front of all these girls and then go to the men's bathroom on the opposite side and was
that's great.
Not thinking.
You got to think about it. Jeff's toes will heal. Mike will heal. I will heal. Patrick's never going to get over that.
No, it's internal injuries.
That is.
I don't know, bud. Like my ankle's still not.
Yeah, I don't.
I should have went and got some medical attention.
Shallow ankles.
But other story was at Blue Mountain Beach near Destin and had gone. My son, I think it was just it was before. That was quite a trip. My son had to go to the emergency room on that trip, but it wasn't an injury. That's beside the point. He was fine. But we were coming back from the beach, and like the rent stations that are kind of like the beach there. So we came up, and it was my oldest son. We were all rinsing off, and so he was still fairly young, and there was like this little hose at the bottom of the shower, and when you would turn it on, it was short enough that it would just start going crazy like a loose hose, and it would spray water everywhere.
Uh-huh.
So he turned it on and it started spraying water, and he was just giggling and going nuts. And so he grabs the hose, and it was cold water, and he was trying to spray everybody, and we were all trying to get dry. So I was doing like a kind of a side shuffle, and I was playing with him, and I was going back and forth, and he was trying to spray me. And so I went one way, but my body went the other, and I slipped, fell, busted, hit on my shoulder, and then hit my head on my shoulder.
Oh my God.
And my wife just starts laughing. And I was seriously like saw stars, and my shoulder
concussed
was like really hurting, and I did not appreciate the laughing, but I from her end it probably looked hilarious, and
I'm sure it did.
And I busted it, and it took a while I never really got treatment for it, but it quit hurting after a few weeks, but so hopefully it healed back right.
That's funny.
And because my wife laughed at me because of that, and she felt bad for it afterwards, but she brings me to a story on her that she's probably going to kill me for. But she was pitching.
Oh no.
She was a softball pitcher for high school, and she went to college to pitch too. But she, I think it was a tournament, so I think they were going to have to play back-to-back games. Don't take my word for that. But she got finished pitching. She usually, you know how pitchers leave the ball on the mound like afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, I think she had just finished an inning. She took the ball and just kind of like dropped it out in front of her, and she just kept walking, and then she stepped on the exact same ball that she was and like just messed up her ankle really bad.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Yeah, and so and I think she still had to stay in and pitch, but I don't know.
Oh man.
But it
Like
was
a G,
Well, she's
like a G
she's
that
tough
she
as
is.
nails. Though.
oh yeah, she is. And but no, we always give her a hard time about like anytime like she throws a ball down or a softball, like whoa, you know, don't trip.
That's rough.
But anyways, I'll probably not survive for the next podcast. So R.I.P. me.
Understandable.
Anyways, I'm
Man,
sorry I had 3. I didn't mean to
that's
take
all
up so
right.
much time.
Oh,
Ray,
I wish we could actually talk about our friend whose name rhymes with Schmeg. His dumbest injury.
are we talking about the motorcycle?
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, maybe
Oh.
Ray, what's your dumbest way? We could definitely.
Yeah, well, I kind of started off with like a small version of mine, but like y'all would probably like this and know this better than even I would. You ever just have to like get a good man sneeze, like that lets the whole house know that you just had a sneeze?
Yep.
That's every
Yeah.
sneeze.
Makes you
That's
feel
loud
good.
every
and
sneeze
obnoxious.
with me. There's
Yeah.
there's no in between with me. It's a man sneeze every time I let one out, man.
So we just got a man sneeze sometimes. So I was in my recliner, the most comfy spot in the house, and for some reason, you let the feet down because you know that sneeze is coming. I
Yeah.
literally pulled a muscle in my back.
In your back,
it
like that's a
hurt me.
hardcore sneeze, man.
Dude.
For a week. I couldn't
done that.
turn. It was over.
Dude, I'm telling you
Jeez.
that I don't think that is that dumb at all. I think that's just us getting older, because I've had the same thing happen just driving down the road. And gosh, I can actually remember I was coming out the Powell's Crossroads, coming from Fife there, and I sneezed like that too, and I felt like my back pop and everything like that. And dude, I was hurting for like a month. So I get it, man.
Galassi hot action. But yeah, that was fun.
I feel like that's just male dominance when you sneeze that hard.
Hey,
Like that's just
Makes
whole
your eyes
household
water, and you're just man, I really accomplished something with that sneeze.
exactly. Hey, this is my sneeze, and hear me roar.
All right, guys. We taking some interest, and we kind of gonna want to go around here, man therapy, and just kind of ask some of the guys about different personalities, social media influencers, just things that they're looking at on the socials. And but anyways, Ray, have you found anybody that's of interest for you?
Yeah, so I've been watching a show on YouTube, Off the Ranch. It's a guy. He has 2 other channels: Demolition Ranch and Vet Ranch. He's a veterinarian, and he shoots guns. He has cars. He has a home channel. He helps dogs with their broke legs. So he kind of covers the basis of everything. But the Off the Ranch show is something that I've been watching a lot here lately.
Awesome, Jeff. You got anybody?
Have y'all ever seen the videos of the guy who he says put that on a cracker, dude?
I have not.
Oh my gosh,
Have not.
So,
What?
he does like a lot of Cajun cooking, and he's got his own line of seasoning. Anyway, he's really big on TikTok, like huge on TikTok. But anyway, he does these big potlucks, and he cooks anything from shrimp to crabs to steaks, anything, man. And his 2 catchphrases is, while we wait, we hydrate, and he funnels a beer. And the second one is now put that on a cracker, dude. It's he's funny, but at the same time, like the way he shows you how to cook these things. So it's informative, but also hilarious at the same time.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Who are you looking at, Mike? You got anybody in particular?
Yeah. So on Instagram, I kind of discovered this this guy. He does this kind of mock for kind of the metal scene, and it's called 2 Minutes to Late Night, and his name on the show is Guar Sinio Hall, and he has full corpse paint, and I mean, like he's really good at, he's funny. Anyways, but they also do these they're these cover songs, these mashups, and he gets different people from different bands doing guitars, drums, bass guitar, singing, I mean, in which he participates into. And I sent you guys, he did this 90s, I guess it was kind of like a 90s pop mashup and everything like that with all these people, and it was great. I mean, they make their it into a full music video when they do these songs. They have a podcast. So that's who I'm kind of been following a little bit.
Awesome. So I I kind of found, I think, this guy on Twitter last year. He's a retired fisherman, but he started documenting. He's an elderly guy, and he's from out of the UK, and it's Gerald Stratford is his name, and so he's an elderly guy, and it's just he started gardening, and so it's very simple videos, but he just started making these videos of him and like his wife, and they would just of his garden and what he was doing and what he was planting. And it was like the sweetest old man I've ever seen. And he goes into like to depth and shows you, and it's you can't stop watching. It's a really interesting Twitter account to follow. And I think he's on Twitter, but I think he's on other sites also. But I guess during the middle of the pandemic, it was just kind of a nice breath of fresh air and stuff. It was so simple and fresh, and it felt real. Is kind of the reasons that I liked him. And it was just he seemed very genuine, and it was just this old dude that just started showing people how to take care of their plants, and how shows him harvesting and setting out all the not necessarily saplings, but these small sproutings of different vegetables and stuff. So it's just it's very if you need something to kind of relax, and he's put out a lot of videos, and he kind of went viral doing it.
Awesome.
All right, Ray, do you want to take us out?
Yeah, again, we want to just thank everyone for following us on our social medias. Again, that is TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Follow us at Man Therapy Podcast or Man Therapy Pod on Twitter. Thank you. Hope you have a great week.
Oh, yeah.
Always. Never fails.